My name is Ellen Snortland. I know Snortland is an odd last name, although it sounds a lot better Norway, where my ancestors came from. So I like to spell my last name phonetically for Americans. Land. Now, I'm a self-defense advocate. I have a very strong assertion. I assert that if and when the females of our species could learn how to stop violence while it's happening to them, we'd see a transformation of women's potential and participation in problem solving on the planet within a remarkably short amount of time. The adage, think globally, act locally, is apt. Think about it. There's nothing more local than one's body. And if a critical mass of women could protect their own bodies, the globe would benefit.
For the most part, girls and women are taught to be inconsequential. That you can cross a boundary with no consequences. You can take a hit with no consequences. Well, I'm here, and we would not be having this discussion about girl dogs. You know, oh, well, that's a girl dog. She shouldn't growl. You know, it's absurd. Put it into any other animal on the planet. When you're walking down the street and you see a growling dog, you don't go, oh, that's a girl dog, I'm not afraid. Oh, sure. I mean, it's like, yeah, try that. See how that works.
Now, if you told me 15 years ago that I'd be a self-defense advocate all over the world, I would have said, you're nuts. I don't think so. But I have been teaching women all over the world that it is their fundamental human right to learn how to protect themselves. I've been in Beijing at the UN Fourth World Conference on Women. I've trained women in a factory in TJ how to protect themselves. I've worked with domestic survivors in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and had them promise that they would stop hitting their own children as one way to stop domestic violence, because they're training their little boys that force works. I've also taught them what to do in case somebody is attacking them. Most women don't even know that if they threw dirt in an assailant's eyes, that might give them the chance to escape and save their own lives. You know, sometimes when people ask me, how did you get into being a self-defense advocate? How did you write Beauty Bites Beast? Well, I came home late one night and there was a burglar in the basement. As I started to go into the house, he came up the basement stairs, held a knife up, and was ready to plunge it into my heart. All the cliches kicked in. My heart stopped. And a little voice said, do something, do it now. And I screamed so loudly, the guy dropped the knife, grabbed his ears, and ran like hell. But that started an investigation on my part, which is, why are human women clueless about defending themselves? Here I was, privileged, well-read, well-traveled, a lawyer, athletic, and not once in my entire life did anyone say, this is what you should do in case somebody tries to hurt you. I drilled for fires. I wear a seatbelt when I drive. I was taught how to wash my hands when I prepare food so I don't inadvertently poison myself or the people I'm feeding. But why, when we're surrounded by violent images, had I not been taught how to protect myself? I made my whole life about discovering what that's about.
I promote a notion of physical literacy. At the turn of the century, middle-class women were not allowed to swim because it was unladylike. Somebody might see the shape of their bodies. It was just verboten for middle-class women to do that. Now, rural women, women who had livelihoods based on fishing, sometimes knew how to swim, but it was just not something one did. But all of a sudden, women started going, hey, wait a second, my brother's having a lot of fun, you know, learning how to swim. So I'm here to tell you that learning how to swim is self-defense against water. You're defending yourself about drowning, right? So it is no harder to learn how to defend yourself than it is to learn how to swim. However, someone must show you how to do it. And then the irony is, the more able you are to defend yourself, the less likely you are to have to defend yourself. There's an old saying that the temple of enlightenment is guarded by two lions, paradox and confusion. So the paradox is the more able and ready you are to defend yourself, the more peaceful you can be. So it's, you know, you got to wrap your head around that a little bit.
I want women to see that no matter what size they are, no matter what education they have, no matter what background they have, they too can learn how to defend themselves.